Alright, I will start this video by saying that since making my last video about Big Show and Luke Harper, my world has been rocked, and I am not in the best of moods right now. I am 100% of emotions right now. I'm sad, I'm upset, and I continue on. Daniel Bryan coming down to the crowd, and honestly, I'm very upset. I understand that when WrestleMania comes to town, it brings in a good amount of people that fill up the Monday Night Raw seats, that fill up, the Superdome for WrestleMania. I mean, it's not like, Monday Night Raw was held inside the Superdome tonight. It was held in the Smoothie King, which hosted the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. But maybe I haven't seen the Raw. Maybe they didn't. Maybe I can give you guys credit if there is anybody watching this and trying to see what I think about the show tonight. But basically, it seemed to me like maybe they didn't make their place right, but maybe no fucks were given for Daniel Bryan tonight. I mean, people are giving Roman Reigns a lot of flack, basically saying that nobody cares about Roman Reigns right now. Why is he going to win the Rumble? Why is he going to main event WrestleMania 31? Daniel Bryan's coming back, and honestly, he had a very, very good segment here with Kane, with Stephanie McMahon, and it seemed like nobody cared. I mean, there was even a part during this when I'm jumping ahead of myself, and I apologize, but when Daniel Bryan was brawling with Kane on the floor, and people were booing, and Daniel Bryan was winning the fight. I have no idea what happened, but Daniel Bryan comes back, basically just, touting the fact that this is the city where he won at WrestleMania 30. He won the championship. He wants to go on, and he wants to win the title again at WrestleMania 31, which was where Stephanie McMahon came down to the ring. Basically, Stephanie McMahon trolled the hell out of Daniel Bryan, talking about how hard it was going to be, to come back from his health struggles with his neck problem and his shoulder problem. Stephanie McMahon offered Daniel Bryan one of her fitness DVDs, trying to say that maybe this would bring him luck and he would be able to win the big one, because basically, he was entering in back where, the big boys play. And, it's not going to be an easy road for Daniel Bryan. Coming off this injury, you get back in the ring, you take one bad bump, and next thing you know, maybe Daniel Bryan is like Edge. Edge, they say, if he took one bad bump inside of the ring, he'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. He'd never be able to walk again. He'd just, his body would just go numb. That's how bad his neck is after all of his career inside the WWE. Daniel Bryan took that same long road. We might not know Daniel Bryan is wrestling in TLC matches and ladder matches and doing this out of there, but Daniel Bryan was a very physical wrestler before, during, and after WWE. He's always been that guy to go above and beyond. But Stephanie McMahon basically said that an A-plus player steps up to the plate and delivers, but then stays on top once they get there. And Daniel Bryan did go to WrestleMania, basically. And once he was at WrestleMania is when he got his injury. He's been gone for 8 months, and now here he is trying to make his return. Stephanie McMahon said that Kane was going to be Daniel Bryan's first opponent this week on Thursday for SmackDown, which where Corporate Kane came down and started to brawl with Daniel Bryan. Of course, everybody remembers the Team Hell No. This was the match that I thought was going to go down when I first talked about this in a video just the other day, was that it was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kane. Hell, why don't they step up to the plate and deliver? If you can remember back when CM Punk was injured and wasn't able to work the TLC pay-per-view, the first Monday Night Raw of the year, they delivered the match that they had promised for the pay-per-view and gave it to us for free on Monday Night Raw. Ryback versus CM Punk in a TLC match. And then after that, maybe they would give us the match that was proposed earlier, that was Kane versus Daniel Bryan in a, what was that supposed to be? Buried Alive match on SmackDown. That would, raise the stakes and make it even more big. But, basically there was a point when Kane was picking up Daniel Bryan and was going to run his shoulder into the post, injuring him again. Daniel Bryan was able to slip out the back and throw Kane into the post. Then they started to brawl onto the ground, where Daniel Bryan was broken up by the refs and pushed into the ring to try to break up the fight. Kane could go his way, Daniel Bryan can go the other. Daniel Bryan bounced off the ropes and leaped out of the ring with that shoulder. boom, taking out Kane on the outside, enough to get a big, huge pop from me. The fans, they went along with the yes chant, but they needed to be, jumped into it. It wasn't like they were doing it on their own. You let me down, New Orleans. Honestly, just a little bit. Hopefully, you guys will get back to me and say that it was a bad miking at the crowd, and it was a bad crowd response to what was going on inside of the ring. Man, people are saying Daniel Bryan's a lock to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and win the championship again. Trying to, jumpstart WWE back into the spot it was after WrestleMania 30. Giving Daniel Bryan that chance to hold the championship and have a good run the way it was supposed to go before it was ended. But honestly, in my mind, I know that, Batista was supposed to win the title, and maybe Batista has some bad feelings with WWE, and maybe that's the reason why he's left. But then again, he was probably going to get this Bond film anyways. One thing leads to another after the success of the movie that he had with Marvel, or I hope it was Marvel. I never saw it. I'm not a big comic book guy, but I don't know. I don't think that even if Bryan was able to wrestle that match at Extreme Rules, you can definitely tell that he definitely wasn't the main focus of WWE at the time. Kane and Daniel Bryan was the main event of Extreme Rules. Maybe it might have been the main event of the Payback pay-per-view as well, but it definitely wasn't what everybody was looking at. Definitely everybody was more focused in on Evolution in the Shield at the time, which did step up to the plate and main event the next pay-per-view. But Extreme Rules, when you look back at it, you might remember the flaming table that Kane went through. Or maybe Daniel Bryan jumping off the top of the forklift. But I think most people will remember the Shield versus Evolution match. It was so good that they were able to talk Batista in to coming back and wrestling one more match at the Payback pay-per-view. So, we're all looking forward to SmackDown. I think everybody's going to be watching, even if you don't normally watch SmackDown. This is the reason why they're doing it, was because everybody's a Daniel Bryan fan. Everybody loves Bryan. Hopefully he can get it worked out of his system. I know a lot of guys come back from big injuries. They're worried they're going to get injured again, and they're not at 100% when their body really is. It takes them a while to get back into it. So we'll see. Everybody's wishing him well, and we'll see what goes down. Kane versus Bryan on SmackDown.